Chapter begins with a view of the Navy's battleship at the seashore. A voice in the background announces that Admiral Kizaru has initiated his incursion, and there's a murmur among the troops that they should prepare themselves, as the enemy won't sit back and watch. The scene then shifts to the pacifistas, who are now firing lasers, directly targeting the Marine ships. Marines are in a frenzy, shouting commands to their comrades, urging them not to let the pacifistas deploy their laser beams. They hastily order the firing of cannons at the pacifistas, but before they can execute the command, the pacifistas unleash their laser beams, causing massive explosions on the Marine ships. As the smoke clears, other Marine ships are observed sinking, and a Marine officer yells that weaponized sea creatures are attacking and sinking their vessels. One of the vice admirals, with a determined look, employs his technique named Steam Knuckle, successfully repelling the sea beasts. In another part of the battlefield, a different vice admiral engages with the pacifistas, using powerful kicks to push them back. The surrounding Marines watch in awe, clearly impressed by the vice admiral's display of power. The ambiance changes as the scene transitions to an underground laboratory. Usopp, with wide eyes, comments on the fierce confrontation between the Marines and the mechanical beasts at the coast. Dr. Vegapunk, adjusting his glasses, responds with a hint of skepticism, asking if they're genuinely launching an assault, especially since Sentomaru is strategically positioned with a formidable squadron of pacifistas under his direct command. He further adds, emphasizing that the island's defenses are designed to be nearly impenetrable. The camera then pans to a digital graph, detailing the hierarchy and control mechanism of the pacifistas. Usopp, scratching his head, suddenly realizes something and asks if the Marines really dispatched that particular individual. Nami, overhearing the conversation, gasps, asking if it's Kizaru they're referring to. She expresses her shock that the Navy would send an admiral for this mission. Another voice, echoing from the shadows, suggests that perhaps the haunting memories from their time at Sabaudi are coming back to challenge them. Usopp, with a worried expression, speculates aloud that the face-off between Kizaru and Sentomaru might have already ignited. Dr. Vegapunk, with a heavy heart, voices his apologies to Sentomaru, expressing sorrow for the current circumstances. The narrative takes another turn, showcasing Kizaru, with his signature calm demeanor, delivering a forceful kick to Sentomaru, pushing him several feet back. Standing tall, Kizaru advises Sentomaru to consider surrendering. Without wasting a moment, Kizaru gracefully leaps into the air, preparing to unleash his signature technique, Yasakani no Magatama. As he executes the move, a barrage of laser bullets emanate from his hands. Sentomaru, momentarily blinded by the radiant light, retreats a few steps, shouting his allegiance to Straw Hat Luffy. Determinedly, he retrieves his previously discarded axe, and with a battle cry, lunges at Kizaru. As they clash midair, Kizaru, with a hint of curiosity, wonders aloud when Sentomaru started fraternizing with pirates. Sentomaru, gritting his teeth, retorts that he's indebted to an old man, and regardless of which side he's on, his primary objective is to support and protect Dr. Vegapunk. As their battle intensifies, Kizaru skillfully dodges an attack from Sentomaru. The Admiral's gaze fixes on Sentomaru, and he's momentarily lost in a flashback. The memory showcases a young Sentomaru, confidently standing over a defeated bear, expressing his disdain for the villagers and his ambition to secure a well-paying job due to his immense strength. Dr. Vegapunk, intrigued, inquires about Sentomaru's aspirations for the money, to which the young warrior enthusiastically replies, "Onigiri." Kizaru, finding the memory amusing, chuckles heartily, reminiscing about Sentomaru's innocent days. The flashback concludes with Dr. Vegapunk making a proposition to Sentomaru, offering him a role as his personal bodyguard, with the promise of a generous salary. Sentomaru addresses Kizaru as "Uncle" and pleads with him to teach him how to protect Dr. Vegapunk. Kizaru, with a smirk, retorts that he's still youthful and advises Sentomaru not to address him as uncle. The scene quickly transitions back to the present, where Kizaru reflects that he imparted the best teachings he could to Sentomaru. As he speaks, Sentomaru interrupts with a powerful punch, deploying the technique Ashigara Palm. Kizaru, unfazed, comments that his guard isn't to be underestimated, a fact he believes Sentomaru is well aware of. With the speed of light, Kizaru retaliates, kicking Sentomaru and propelling him back to the land, resulting in a massive explosion. Sentomaru lies defeated, bloodied on the ground. Kizaru retrieves a chip and broadcasts to all pacifista units that the previous command is now unconscious and out of commission. Authority has been transferred to him. He then falsely announces a change in plans, directing the sea beasts to defend the Navy instead of attacking them. A Marine commander acknowledges the successful alteration of the pacifista squadron's objective. The scene shifts to Saturn, who remarks that it was a wasted effort. If forced to choose, he believes the pacifistas are the more valuable assets to secure. He then instructs an underling to keep him updated on all casualties incurred, receiving a prompt "yes, sir" in response. The narrative returns to the heart of Egghead Island, where Usopp exclaims in despair that Sentomaru has been defeated. Hearing this, Dr. Vegapunk is visibly distressed. He emphasizes the urgency of their situation, while another voice declares they won't squander the time Sentomaru bought for them. York interjects, confidently stating they won't crack the password because he too is Vegapunk. Dr. Vegapunk, with a hint of panic, mentions that Kizaru, being made of light, could easily penetrate their defenses using his laser techniques. Usopp, recalling past encounters, voices his fear, reminding everyone of the danger Kizaru poses. Kizaru, in the distance, nostalgically mentions the Straw Hat Pirates, reminiscing about the golden days. He then activates his light technique, soaring into the sky. As the Straw Hats, aided by a Vegapunk robot, make their escape, they're startled by an emergency signal. Hovering above, Kizaru identifies 3 critical assets: the power station, Punk Record, and York. He muses that it would be ideal if he could add old friends to that list. However, he somberly notes that eliminating Dr. Vegapunk is their top priority. The scene concludes with a shot of a defeated Sentomaru and a stern-faced Kizaru. Usopp, alarmed, announces that Kizaru has breached the dome and worries about Luffy and the others who are still en route. From the shadows, a voice echoes Usopp's concerns. Dr. Vegapunk interjects, stating that raising the barrier would be futile if the ship isn't correctly positioned. Suddenly, Stussy spots Rob Lucci's bird soaring in the sky. Without warning, Lucci springs into action, sprinting with incredible speed. He aims to stab Vegapunk directly. However, in a split-second decision, Stussy intervenes, positioning herself between Vegapunk and the impending attack. She takes the full brunt of Rob Lucci's assault, blood spilling from her body, but successfully shields Vegapunk. As Vegapunk stands in shock, Stussy collapses to the ground. Nami's eyes widen in horror. Sanji, thinking quickly, grabs Nami's weapons and swiftly immobilizes Kaku before he can make his escape, commenting that Rob Lucci abandoned Kaku in the chaos. Just as Rob Lucci contemplates his next move, Zoro leaps into action, blocking Lucci with both his swords. Zoro taunts, suggesting that Lucci had been waiting for backup before showing any real courage. Lucci retorts, warning them that they're all doomed, especially now that he's collaborating with Kizaru. Zoro challenges Lucci, reminding him not to underestimate their strength. The two adversaries then leap out of the building. Kizaru finally makes his appearance, spotting the Straw Hats making their escape with their ship. He remarks, somewhat amused, that he had been wondering about the whereabouts of their ship since it wasn't at the shore. On the ship, Usopp urges the crew to hasten their escape, especially with an admiral on their tail. He turns to Luffy for guidance, only to realize, to his shock, that Luffy is missing from the ship. Kizaru's expression mirrors Usopp's surprise, and the scene shifts to reveal Luffy standing defiantly in front of the admiral. With a grin, Luffy greets Kizaru, mentioning it's been a while. Without hesitation, Luffy lunges at Kizaru, delivering a powerful punch. Kizaru, however, manages to defend himself, resulting in a massive burst of haki from the clash. Kizaru comments on Luffy's audacity, to which Luffy confidently replies that they've become 100 times stronger than they were 2 years ago. The chapter concludes on this intense note, with a reminder that there will be a break next week. Oh man, what an incredible chapter. The clash between the Yonko and the Emperor has finally started. Before you leave, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Catch you in the next video.